Great.
Hello, everyone. We are here in week 3, episode 5 of Hacktoberfest with Avil, and it's been a good run so far. We were slightly delayed in terms of the review that was pending for week 2 articles that came in, but then again, it was because of all the overwhelming responses that we've got and all the articles that had to be reviewed. Now, that is done. We have shared the result on our Discord channel. If you haven't checked that, make sure you check that in the Hacktoberfest with Avil channel on our Discord. And a lot of articles also got published with a special mention for the top 5 creators for this particular week. And we have moved on to week 3. Now, this is all about creating content around project specific topics. So, you would have already received a set of topics that is listed out on the Discord, and we have been having multiple events. So far, we've had event with React Play, Tolg, Chaos Genius, Test Sigma, and today we have Metacall with us. We are joined in by Raj and Param, who would be giving us a bit more insight into what Metacall is, what all features are there, how you can be a part of it, and if you guys have any sort of queries, feel free to drop it in the Q&A section. I'm pretty sure Vicente is also there in the audience section, so they all will be more than happy to help you out with all your queries. So, Raj, Param, over to you guys. The stage is all yours.
Yeah, thanks Aditya for this whole arrangement. I really like the approach how you guys are managing the Hacktoberfest. Previous year, it was not so much organized when I participated in this contest, but right now it is full lot of joy and yeah, you guys will be learning a lot today. So let's start. So today we will get to know what's Metacall is and what's the polyglot runtime like, and what kind of problem it has solved and what kind of problem we are heading to solve, right? Then we will also take you to the tour of our project. So before we actually start the session, let's talk who we are and why you guys should listen to us, right? So I am Raj, and I am a contributor and maintainer to the Metacalls deploy project from this Google Summer of Code. And in fact, we will be talking about my project in the middle of the session. And adding to that, I have also been a grand prize winner in the Code Heat open source program conducted by Force Asia. And I have also done plenty amount of talks before on open source. So that's pretty much about me. And from now on, Param will talk about his experience with Metacall. Like, he's a great contributor in Metacall. So let's hear him. So it's over to you, Param.
Thank you, Raj. Hello, everyone. I am Param Siddharth. I am a software developer and I'm an active contributor to Metacall. I am contributing to Metacall this year as a under Google Summer of Code, and I worked mostly on the DevOps aspect of the different projects that we have. Primarily the core project, which I will be demonstrating to you today. So let me try and share my screen. Oh. Okay, I hope my screen is visible now. So let's navigate to the GitHub page of Metacall and we'll take it from there. Okay, so this is Metacall. Metacall is a polyglot runtime, and the primary purpose that it serves is to allow multiple programming languages, code written in multiple programming languages with each other. It forms a function programming language. Major has is its which Raj will between different talking about because he that allows and entire core or demonstrate repository, which is completely open source, is what I will be demonstrating to you through the Metacall CLI and REPL. So if you go to the Metacall organization, you'll find lots of projects, and there are some useful links in the Metacall organization that we will talk about in the end of the event, after Raj finishes up demonstrating the deployment CLI. So let me go to the core repository so that we can start. Okay, so this is the core repository, and this is where the heart of Metacall stays. The entire runtime is coded here, mostly in C, as you can see here. And this is what we use. This is what is used by almost all of the other projects encompassed under Metacall. And we have a very simple example here, which we can start with for the demonstration. Eventually, we will be moving on to a much complex example. And based on that, we'll check out the deployment procedure. So before doing this, I definitely need to have Metacall installed in my machine. And the simplest way to do that is mentioned in the README itself. This link will work for Linux and Mac OS. So I am using Linux here. I'll use this command here. Okay, so I already have it installed, so I don't need to install it again. So I'll just continue with my existing installation, and I'll create a new project. Let me open it in Visual Studio Code. Okay, so here we are. I will start by showing you this very simple example by following the exact instructions in the README, and then we'll move on to a bigger example. So let me create a Python file and write a very simple function that adds two numbers. So this is a Python function that adds two numbers which are passed to it as parameters. Very simple. Moving on, I create a JavaScript file, and this is what tries you. I can use that in the Python file, add numbers in file. That's it. Lib and it, which is a very simple example, but sake of demonstrating the capabilities of Metacall as well as the deployment, we are going to move on to a larger example, which I am going to start writing over here. So I write a hello and prints hello. Oh, sorry, it doesn't print, it returns a string that says hello name from Python. That's what it does. And to demonstrate how a Python function can use a callback method passed from JavaScript, I'll also make another function called hello callback, which also takes a name, and it returns, no, it doesn't take a name, it takes a callback. And it calls the callback with this data from Python. We'll modify the run.js file to use those functions, and we'll create new functions in the run.js file. So I'll require both of the functions in the Python file. Just like that. And I'll create some new methods here. I create this main function that simply returns hello called on the name that is passed into it. And I'll also create a function that says callback, takes a name, and now it will return hello callback. And now we will pass a callback function within it. So the string that is returned by this, we will simply add it to the name like that. And then I'll also add another string that says and JavaScript. Let's do that here as well. And let's see it in action. Before doing that, I'll follow the traditional way to export functions in JavaScript by passing these into exports. And looks like everything's okay. So now I will use something known as the Metacall REPL, which is similar to the Python interpreter, and we'll pass commands in there to run the individual files. Let's start with that. Okay, as soon as you see the lambda symbol and this message, you know that Metacall is running. So I will first start by simply running these functions in Python and showing you how to do that in Metacall. So I'll load this file just like this, and I'll successfully loaded two functions. And if I want to call and say something like this, hello Param, and then it will say hello Param from Python. The reason why it says hello Param from Python is because it is calling this method, this function directly from the Python file. But that's not fun. The fun begins when we load the JavaScript file, which in turn imports those functions from Python. So let's do that. I'll write load node run.js. Let's see what we have. Okay. This is the part that I want you to look at. We have two functions, main and callback, as created in run.js. And now I can try calling main with the name of Raj. And it says, hello, Raj from Python and JavaScript. Which means calling this function. That's the Metacall. Try the method. That's similarly the callback method. Let me pass the name of Vicente from Python and JavaScript. So this is a JavaScript function which is calling the hello callback function from Python. And that's pretty much it for this demonstration. I'll go ahead and let me quickly get the git ignore for this because that's going to be important. And meanwhile, I will create a new repository here. This will create a new repository on this link, and it already pushed the commits. I'll add this link to the chat, and Raj can take it from here to demonstrate how we are going to use the deployment CLI and the deployment platform. Thank you.
Am I guys audible to you? Like, I was facing some issues while Param was speaking. Is there every?
You're audible. You're audible. Yeah, it was slightly on and off. I believe it's down to the network bandwidth. But yeah, you're audible.
Okay, so no issues. Param, can you quickly paste the link in the comments so that I can demonstrate the deployment example?
Yes, I did.
You did. Actually, I don't find it.
Like I pasted it in the public section. Oh, I added it there as well.
Okay. 1 second. So, uh, like, thanks, Param, for presenting the incredible feature of Metacall, which is polyglot. So now it's time for me to demonstrate you how can you deploy those functions into a Metacall fast service. So I will be talking about Metacall fast in a bit now. So let me tell you what actually happens when you deploy those functions. So actually those functions are in a raw form in your computer, okay? And whenever you deploy those functions into Metacall fast service, so what happens is it returns you a URL, and you can use that URL into your applications. Like it will be highly beneficial for you. Like any one of you have, if have ever used how to consume APIs, so you know how it is important to create APIs. And here Metacalls come and give you a rich set of features so that you can build those APIs in a very easy manner. Okay, so am I audible correctly, so that I can continue? Like just confirm me once in the
Good to go.
chat.
Good
Or
to go.
yeah, so let's understand the scenario properly. Okay, so let's say you have developed your website or any sort of application you have developed. Okay, now you want to launch it so that others can use it. Okay, so what's the usual practices? So you go to a cloud service provider like AWS, and there you have to rent a server from their EC2 services, I guess. Yes. So let's say you have rented an Ubuntu machine. Then when you rent the Ubuntu machine, then you have to make it. Then you have to configure it. Like you have to set up the environment. You have to install the runtime. Like if it's a MERN application, then you have to set up the Node.js runtime there. So like in the end you end up with deploying your application there. So yeah, so literally it's not over yet. Like if you deployed your application, then you have to manage a production. Like you have to analyze those metrics, you have to load balance your servers in order to get the higher rate of the users. Okay, so there are a lot of things going in and out there. Okay, so now ask a question to yourself. Like as a developer who only knows how to develop an application, do you really need to know all these things? Like you can obviously learn these things like DevOps and all, but as a developer it must not be your priority. Like you should only focus on developing the software, not on DevOps. So because by the time the complexity of building the infrastructure increases, like as your application will grow in future. So that's why as a developer you don't need to learn all these things, and here Metacall comes. So let me make you understand what Metacall fast service is. So Metacall fast stands for function as a service. So I will be using fast and function as a service interchangeably during the session, so don't get confused by it. So Metacall fast provides a platform, so that's the platform. Okay, so I haven't shared the screen yet. One second. Are you able to see this thing?
It's visible now. Yes.
Yeah. So this is the platform which I was talking about. This is Metacall Fast platform. So Metacall function as a service provides a platform where developers can deploy, run, and manage applications without the complexity of building and maintaining the infrastructure. What are these infrastructure? Like I talked previously a bit, like setting up, renting a server, then setting up Ubuntu there, and setting up the environment and the runtime. So that's all kind of things comes under the infrastructure and setting up the environment. But you have don't have to take care of these things if you use our services, if you use Metacall Fast. So let me quickly show you how can you deploy those functions quickly into Metacall Fast service, which Param has coded. Let me get the URL, guys. I'm still not able to. One second. Actually, I guess my internet is some sort of slow. It won't be any issue. I will quickly get Param's. Yeah, that's. So, Param, what's the name of the repository you created? Can you tell me? I didn't find any.
No, it's the
Is
one
it? Is that
on the. Yes.
okay? So you can see that, see guys, that Param has deployed, posted their code on the GitHub, and I will simply copy that link, and I will try to clone it on my Windows. Okay. So cd desktop. So I guess it is done, and you simply have to let me check if it is correct or not. Okay, so I am in the wrong directory. Okay, but no issues. So that's Metacall testing folder. So you guys can see this thing. One second. Yes, so there are two files named as hello and hello callback, which is implemented in Python. You guys already know this thing, like Param already taught you this, how it works. So there are two functions which is implemented in Python but are getting called from JavaScript. Okay, so I will show you how can you what's the issue. Okay, so I will show you how you can deploy these two functions, the main function and the callback function, into Metacall services, and in return the Metacall will give you the API endpoint for these two functions. Okay, and we will test that also. So there are many ways to deploy the code on Metacall service. So the one way is you can simply go to dashboard and simply deploy your code by simply pasting your folder into inside this deploy zip fold facility. Okay, but we don't be doing it here. So we will simply using a tool called Metacall deploy. So you have to head over to npmjs.com, and you have to search for Metacall slash deploy. Okay, one second. So that's the thing. So in beginning, I told you that I will be talking about my Google Summer of Code project. So that's the project I was contributing to, and it is the only tool that we will be using today to deploy those functions into Metacall services. So you just have to simply go to your terminal and install its binary. So how will you do that? You have to simply write npm install at Metacall. You like that's the name of the uh, binary. So like it's not the name of the binary, it's name of the package. Okay, so you have to get this name @metacall slash deploy. So let me write it, metacall slash deploy, and you have to set location to global. Like I like to set this to global because it's not a development dependency, but you can install it anywhere you want. Okay, so let us install this thing. It will take few minutes to install, like not few minutes, few seconds. Let's wait for it. Once it gets installed, every work overhead work is over. Like you don't have to do anything. I will show you how easy it is to deploy your functions with Metacall. Okay, so uh, we'll head over to Metacall testing, I guess. Yeah. So like we have installed that package, and in order to test that package, like if it is really installed in your system or not, you have to write Metacall deploy version, and if it returns with a number, then you are ready to go, and if it returns with an error, then probably you are doing something wrong. And if like in the end, if it's never solved for you, then you can always get back to us. We will be happy to help you out. Okay, so we have installed it correctly, and we simply have to move to our project folder. Like you can see that I am in the Metacall testing folder. One second. One second. So the Metacall test here it is Metacall setting testing folder, and it contains only two files. Like it contains three files: gitignore, lib.py, and run.js. Okay, so it contains only three files, and we have to be in the like it's not necessary to be in this folder in order to deploy application, but it's a bit easier if you get inside the folder where your code lives. Okay, and you simply have to write metacall deploy. Okay, so when I hit this thing, see what it says, like no metacall.json found in your application, and launching the wizard. So let me make you understand what this thing is. What is this metacall json the CLI is referring to? So understand one thing, like you're going to deploy your functions into Metacall Fast, but Fast doesn't know about your code. Like it just only contains two files. Like if you deploy your code directly into any cloud service provider and you don't give it a hint like what to do with your code. So in order to make sure your Fast, our Metacall Fast understands your code, you need to give it some sort of configuration about your code. Like some sort of metadata about your code which tells about your code that what to do with your code. Like there are many files here, you can see that there library.py, and if you are developing some complex application, there can be many files, but you can see that the functions which are we are going to deploy are only contained in this run.js file. Okay, and Metacall must know about this thing, that we have this file contains the functions which are getting to be deployed. Okay, so for that thing, we create metacall .json file. Okay, inside our root folder. Okay, so like you don't have to create it anyways, because we have already automated this for you. So it is asking us, do you want to save metacall.json file? And yes, we want to save. So I will be hitting yes. Now it is detected that like it has detected that there are three sort kind of files: static file, node.js file, and python file in our code folder, source code. So let me show you how it is detected. So there is a python file, there is a javascript file. So for python and javascript it has written python, and for javascript runtime is node.js, that's why it is written node.js. And there is a static file too, which is git ignore. But understand the fact that you only have to deploy these two functions. These two files are unnecessary. Like for implementation, library.py is necessary, but in order to deploy your functions, only this file is necessary. Okay, so you simply have to select node.js kind of file. So you have to hit space here and hit enter. Now you can see that it has detected what javascript files your source code contains. So you can see that there is only one run.js file, one file with javascript. That's why it is only showing us one file. So you have to select this file because this file contains your functions. Okay, so I will select it, and you can see that it is saying that deploying your metacall.testing folder. So you can see that how easy it was to deploy your code. And let me make you understand. Let us see what happened here when we saved the metacall.json file. So it created a metadata sort of thing in our source code, and the first thing is and like it looks like a key value pair, and the first pair is language id. So language id suggests that language id says that your code is written in node.js. So why it is saying that? Like it is telling metacall that the function which are going to be deployed is in are of javascript, will work under javascript runtime. Okay, then there is a for path key which tells us from where metacall will look to find your functions. Okay, so if I have written dot here, then it will simply look from the root folder. Okay, the third thing is script. So like as I said, as if your complexity grows of your application, the number of files also grows. So but you like you don't have always have to deploy functions from every file. Like you like here we are only deploying two functions from this run.js file. That's why we have only given a run.js file into the script array. If we were deploying the functions from multiple files, then we were also putting it here. Like if I had one index.js file. Okay, so I would have been writing like this here. Okay, but we don't have this thing, and Metacall generated all this for us, like automated this process. So let's see. It is saying that your application is deploying, and you if you want to see logs, then let's click it here, and if there is some sort of logs, then we can see it. Then you can see that here it is like as what I said, you have to rent a Ubuntu machine and you have to set up infrastructure. That's what it is doing in the backend. It is doing it for you. Like you can see that in this line, it is saying that Debian based. It is setting up a Debian based operating system for you. Okay, and you can see that there is a lot of complex containerization stuff going on, and here it is building Lambda, and I guess it has been deployed, and you can check it though by running a command called metacall deploy inspect. Okay, so okay, so it looks like it broke, but it's not. So you can see that your deployment name is metacall testing, which was your folder name. It says that it is in ready status. You can use these URLs, and it is also telling us that the application is under version 1 because we have deployed it for the first time. That's why it is saying for it is of version 1. There are no ports available, and why there are no ports available, you all know that if you are from a MERN background or any kind of server background, if you have come from, like in Node.js you set up an express application and you listen to that application on some port. So if that was the case here, then the port might have been here. So that was not the case because it's a very simple application. And you can see that there are numerous amount of URLs here. You don't have to focus on all these. You just have to see what the functions you have deployed. You have deployed main and you have deployed the callback function. Okay, so you will look for those functions, and you can see that there are two functions there are two URLs which signifies that here it is main and here it is callback. So you guys can see that how like easy it was to deploy your application with using this tool. So do you guys have any doubt? If you have any doubt, you can ask me or I will continue further. You can write it into the chat if you want. Okay, I guess.
I believe with
Okay.
Alex engaging with the folks on the Q&A section, the questions are being answered over there currently.
Okay, so no issues. So I will be continuing with this thing. So as I said, you guys have deployed these two functions, main and callback function. So what we want to do is we want to test these URLs, like how this will work. Like when you created those functions, you seen that how it returns the output. Param has showed you that. So we will test this thing. So I will simply copy this link. Okay, and also you can see like the CLI only shows you this URL, but if you move head back to the dashboard of your application, you will see that let me reload it once. It's very slow, I guess. Yeah, you can see that there are two functions, main and callback, and here it accepts one argument called as name. Let me see, check that. Yes, so it accepts an argument called name, and there is a post kind of URL. Like every kind of API have some verb associated with it. Like it is an HTTP verb, if you know about it: get request, post request. Okay, so we will be using these URLs, and we will be hitting these URL with a payload, and the payload will contain the data about name. Okay, and let's see what response it gives us. So let's simply copy this link, and let's head back to any API testing tool. So we will paste our URL here. Okay, we are calling the main function, right? And we will be making a post request, and in the body we will send the argument it accepts, like the parameter it accepts. So let me show you what parameter it accepts. So we are calling this main function. Let's see where main function we have written. Okay, the main function accepts a parameter called name. So we will be passing the name from the body itself. So I will write it like this: name, and I will write let's say I write param. Okay, so just 1 second, guys. Okay, so you can see that the when we hit this endpoint, we get a 200 okay response, which says that your request has been successfully submitted, and you got a response. Okay, and it is saying that hello param from Python and JavaScript. like you can see that how it was working on your system a few seconds ago, and like within I don't think like it took us around 5 minutes or so. Like it just happened very quickly. You deployed those two functions and you can use this URL from anywhere, if you from anywhere in the world. Like you can use this URL in your application to deploy your to like develop your application more advanced. Okay, and we also have one function, I guess its name is callback. Let's see what parameter it takes. It takes name as a parameter. So like this is the same body we will be sending out. This is a JSON body, if you know about this. And if we send this request, then we will again get a status code of 200 okay param from JavaScript and Python. So you can see that how like how advanced this thing is. And like it's really great. Like if you can deploy your functions quickly and you can use it from anywhere in the world, then I guess it's way easier and way like what can I say, it's way more advanced if you use this thing. Because it's a lot overhead if you use other services. Like I'm not saying don't use AWS. Those things have other sort of benefits, but it is really reducing your time, and it's a great product though, I guess. Like if you are done with this thing, then I can show you. You can like not only you can deploy from your desktop, like you can deploy a GitHub repository too. Let me show that thing to you. So I copied the code from this GitHub repository, which is Param's GitHub repository. Okay, I will simply copy this URL. And one thing more, that there's already an application running on my free plan. Actually, I don't have much plans on my account, so we have to delete this application before deploying a new application. So you can do this from here, but as a developer, we don't want to interact with GUI. That's why we have built the CLI portion itself. So you can simply move back to your terminal, and you can simply check if you have deployments or not using Metacall, using the same tool, Metacall deploy and delete. If you write a delete flag here, then you will get to know the number of deployments you have in your account. So you can see that Metacall testing version 1, and you can also see that the same application is on your dashboard and it is showing you in your local terminal. Okay, you can simply hit enter and you can deploy this deployment. Sorry, delete this deployment. So it says deployment delete succeeded. Now we can simply uh, like push our repository. You can one second, you can reload this thing and you can see that repository your application has been deleted from here. Now what I said, I want to push this thing to our service, like into the Metacall, like from a GitHub repository. Okay, so I will simply head back to my terminal. I will simply write Metacall deploy, and I will write a flag add repo. Okay, and I will paste the URL here. Okay, and one more flag I want to make you know, like which is project name. So this takes a string which will gonna be the name of your application. If I write Hacktober application, Hacktober, if I write Hacktober here and hit enter, like you just have to write Metacall deploy, then you have to add a flag which is called add repo. Then in the flag you have to paste the URL, and this is not necessary project name, but I have added it to make you learn about this thing. So if we simply hit enter, in few time you will see that application has started getting deployed. So you can see that deploying this application. Okay, one second, you can see that application is getting deployed. And if you reload this page, one second, this is, yes, so you can see that Param Siddharth's Metacall testing application is getting deployed here. And you can also see the logs from this portion. The again same thing what I told you, the containerization and Docker stuff is going in here. You don't have to get into this complexity because it is handled by backend. And like you can see that application is ready to use here, and it will show us in few seconds in our terminal. Like it takes some time, but no worries, you can simply check this thing, that application is deployed and it returned us a few APIs. So yes, like that's it actually from my side. You can see that it's written repository deployed. So you can see that how powerful thing it is. And I want to show you something more. If you move to github.com/metacall/deploy, you will find all sort of feature this tool provides you. So you can see that how to install that. I have shown you few flags like version. I have shown you like add repo. I have shown you project name. Also I can show you if you want metacall deploy help. If you hit this endpoint, it will return full like memo about how this thing works. Like if you it is telling if you add work directory, like let's see, if you use add repo flag deploys from repository, it says that you can deploy a repository. Okay, and that's it. Like here it is, here's the repository. You can, if you want to make any contribution to the repository, you can make. I look over this repository, I maintain this repository, and if you want to submit any contribution to it, you can always open an issue and I will look into that thing. So that's it from my side. And Param will take you make you know about other things. So yes, Param, it's over to you.
Thank you, Raj. Um, so we will now talk about a few things. Let me share my screen and okay. So we will look at how you can contribute to Metacall. So there's a really nice in the project. Look at the Synthé created. You can see a list of projects that you can work on. Besides that, if you go to
Param,
very bad internet. Okay.
we lost you there.
If you go to the Metacall organization already present, you can look at those examples and you can add your own.
I guess Param, your internet is lagging. Okay, so
As a contribution to the project, we very much appreciate that. So that we can have a look at this.
Param, we have completely lost you on this one.
okay, no issues. If Param was not able to tell you, so Param was actually telling you how you can contribute to Metacall. So let me quickly show that to you. If I am not lagging, Aditya, can you confirm me this thing?
Yours seems to be perfectly fine.
Okay, no issues. Let me show you one. Give me 1 second. So you guys can see that like are you able to see my screen? So that's the GitHub
It's
repository.
visible.
That's the GitHub repository of Metacall. You can see that here, and just you have to write examples here. If you write example, it will quickly list all the examples you can build from. Uh, just one thing, I will get back to you. Just wait.
Meanwhile, Raj checks in on that. Guys, if you haven't gone through the list of topics that are out, it's already shared on our Discord. And My suggestion would
No
be
issues. Like,
you go through the list of topics, try and understand what the projects are. We are having these events, and the live streaming is also happening, and we'll be uploading all the updated event on our platform as well. So you can always come back and take a look at it and create the content that you want to create. So yeah, I mean, over to you, Raj.
yeah, so sorry from my side. Like, there was someone on my gate, and I have to look for that thing.
No worries, no worries.
So yeah, so as I told you, you have to write examples here. So the examples are simply that Param showed you how to code a polyglot example by mixing up some language. But the example he showed you was very basic, and the example I deployed was also very basic. But because we didn't want to make you confused with all the complex stuff today, so but you can really build a what I can say is you can really build a powerful application if you can mix two programming languages. Like if you want to use machine learning complex algorithms into JavaScript, or in Java programming language, you can use Metacall for that. And for that thing, you have to understand like how you can mix those languages. And if you learn the ability to mix those languages, you can create a quick example for us here. Like you can see that function, there's a function mesh example. Let us see some easy example like Mailchimp DynamoDB example. So you all know that Mailchimp is I guess it's a service for generating emails for your clients. If you have some sort of clients, so you can see that there is an example, and people have written some good amount of code here. Like this is the newsletter.html. I guess it's get rendered on your emails. Like you get a nice email template when we use these kind of services. So you have to write this kind of examples for us if you want to contribute. Like you can contribute in many ways. Like there are many projects listed on our repository, but this is the most easy way to contribute. And from that thing you will learn a lot about our Metacall. And yes, then you will be able to contribute more deeply into the project. So yes, that's it from my side. And as Aditya said that articles are listed on the AVL channel, I guess, and Aditya will paste the link if he have it right now. So you guys, if you guys have any doubt about yes, if you guys have any doubt about these URLs, the articles which Metacalls wants you to write for them in Hacktoberfest, then you can always get back to our Discord channels, and there are a lot of amazing people who are ready to help you, right? So yes, Aditya, you can take it now.
That was a really great session, both from you and Param. Although we miss the tiny bits in between because of the network, but that's completely understandable. Guys, if you have missed out on anything, the Discord channel for Metacall is shared on the chat. You can go check it out. There are a cool bunch of people. They're always ready to help you out. So if there's anything, you
Yeah.
always feel free to get in touch with them. And yeah, I mean, you can personally connect with them. Param, Raj, if you guys want to share your social accounts, you can feel free to drop it here on the chat and
Okay. Yeah.
get more people to connect with you. So, as I
So
mentioned earlier, we have already listed out the topics that got published for this week and the additional points that are getting allocated for the engagement that this particular article can get on social media handles. So, all you have to do is share it on your LinkedIn and Twitter and make sure you're tagging Aviel. And the more the engagement, the more the points that get allocated to you. So that's that. We're wrapping up this event with Metacall. Later today, we do have Emil coming in from Novo, so we'll be getting a deeper look at what Novo is all about, and make sure you're joining in for that. All the participation for the events also counts as points, and another opportunity for you to take a closer look at another cool project that is out there. So yeah, that is pretty much it from my side. Let me just quickly check if there's any question that is unanswered as of now. Yeah, so there's a question that came in from Ravi. He's asking, speaking of contributions, can you explain more about GSOC for Metacall?
okay. So like like there is nothing to explain you about gsoc for metacall. See, the thing is, if you contribute to any organization, it's not all about metacall. If you contribute to any organization, then in return organization looks for you. So if you contribute to metacall's project, then sure, we will might be considering for you for the next gsoc, but we will not make sure of that thing. So you just have to be a good open source contributor, and yeah, that's it about gsoc, I guess. Like there's nothing to be shared for gsoc for metacall. Like whenever the projects will be listed out next year, you will get more information about that thing. Yes.
Hope that answers your question, Ravi. If you guys have any more queries, feel free to drop it on our Discord, or like the Discord for Metacall is also listed on the chat. If you want, I can reshare it on the chat.
So I pasted my socials in the public channel. Did you got it, guys? Like I can see it at my end when I pasted that thing.
Yeah, yeah, it's visible. Twitter and LinkedIn. Yep.
Okay. You guys have any doubt? You can connect me there also. I will be. But okay. So there is another question, I guess.
Yeah.
Uh,
Do we need to propose projects by ourselves, or there will be something from Metacall side that I can work on?
Okay, so yes, like you can always open. You are always open to suggest any idea to Metacall if you want. But also Metacalls also provides you a list of bunch of project which from to which you can contribute. So yes, as I can see that Vicente has also given his response on this thing. So yes, yeah, we are open to suggestions as he says. Okay, great.
Cool, guys. That would be it from our end. We'll be wrapping this up now. Make sure you're joining in and tuning in for our next event with Novo, where we'll be having a session with Emil. Emil is a DevRel at Novo, and going to be pretty interesting. So, looking forward to having you all there. It was great having you, Raj, along with Param. It's it's a bit sad
Like
that Vicente could join in, but yeah, I mean, you can always drop in your queries, and these guys will be more than happy to help you out. Has been wonderful. Thank you, guys.
the most good thing I found that students are curious about the thing, like they questions the thing. So great, I can you guys are doing you guys are building a great community, avl itself. So I will uh, say you all the best for your future endeavors.
Really
Thanks.
appreciate it. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. That's it. We'll be wrapping up now. Bye bye.
Bye.